to Lincoln, Nebraska for the 57th meeting of the I-80 rivalry. Two programs separated by 60 miles. It's the undefeated Nebraska Cornhuskers and the 15th ranked Creighton Blue Jays. Hi again, everybody. Welcome inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. Matt Schumacher, Nick Baugh with you. Nebraska in search of their best start since the 1977-78 season. Meanwhile, Creighton, Nick, looking for some revenge after losing in this rivalry game a season ago. You played in it for the Blue Jays. You grew up in a Husker household. How much does this one mean today in the state of Nebraska?
Well, just look around. I mean, this environment is incredible, but it's a rivalry that's evolved as Creighton's program has evolved. But there's something called J-skers, people that are Nebraska football fans but Creighton basketball fans. They don't get along too well. And you bring up that revenge factor. Nebraska went on the road last year in Omaha, knocked off the Blue Jays. So poor taste in Creighton's mouth. They're trying to knock that thing out. This is going to be an amazing game with an amazing atmosphere.
Let's take a look at today's starting lineups. And I know one of the matchups you're looking at is in the post between Ryan Kalkbrenner and Rick Mast.
And I think Mast's ability to step out and pick and pop and knock down threes will drag Kalkbrenner away from the paint, which is where he is at his best blocking shots. So it'll be interesting to see how that battle plays out.
And here we go. The Blue Jays control the tip. Our officials tonight: Paul Sells, Kelly Pfeiffer, and Earl Watson.
1-3-1 zone. Back to a 2-3 right out the gates here. And now looks like Nebraska matching up man. So already some tricks up Fred Hoiberg's sleeve.
There is Trey Alexander. He's been a terrific scorer for Creighton this year, as has Ashworth, the transfer from Utah.
Already some tricks up Fred Hoiberg's sleeve.
There is Trey Alexander. He's been a terrific scorer for Creighton this year, as has Ashworth, the transfer from Utah State. Gets the Blue Jays on the board. Nebraska making 20 free throws per game, and they're averaging 81 points per game. 6-0 run for the Huskers. Alexander. Right into the chest of Rick Mast. They needed it. And Jawan Gary, fresh into the ball game, puts it in. Trout with the putback. That is needed for a team that is now. And now Frederick King has checked into the ball game for Creighton, as has Francisco Farabello. Shireman again. This time puts it in from downtown, and Creighton regains the lead.
And Shireman shooting the ball.
Shireman, their leading scorer, takes it right to the cup and sneaks it past Mast. A 7.
Kalkbrenner on the floor, no rim protection on the floor, and Wiltshire recognizes it and attacks.
Shireman splashes another, his second three.
You got to know who you're. Something to keep an eye on is that three-point line both ways. And Creighton's got to get Kalkbrenner involved. He's got 0 field goal attempts right now.
Ted to shoot. Shireman lets it go. His third triple of the first half. And their leading scorer starting to hit one rip.
Ball has to get into Kalkbrenner one way or another. This is an All-American candidate player.
There it is for a two-hand.
Kalkbrenner in drop coverage. And able to get to the mid-range and knock it down.
Kick out. Open shot. Farabello knocks it in from distance. It's Kalkbrenner.
Great defense.
Oh, defended and picked off by Alexander. Steps it through. High off the window and in. And Lawrence is down. Defender for the Blue Jays.
That's Bryce Williams' size at 6'7", being able to rise up over Alexander. Those shots are available against Creighton, those little 10 to 12 footers. Question is, can you make them?
Shireman, given space, puts it down. His 4th three of the first half.
Again, driving, thinking to pass. Out in shots. You can't let a guy like this get this many looks. Look out.
Back to back. And he loves a big show. He has not given up more than 7 fouls in a first half all season. They have 7 already tonight against Nebraska.
Which is obviously helps their cold shooting get into that free throw line right now.
Ashworth rims in a 3. Friendly bounce on the road. Into Alec on the much smaller Farabello, sent away by Kalkbrenner. That's a strong take by Bryce Williams, the Charlotte transfer. Farabello, yes, from the corner.
That's not good enough from Nebraska. Got to get back and get sorted out with Creighton, but there's been some opportunities when guys have pushed it and gotten downhill for Nebraska.
Number 10 to shoot again. Ashworth tries to slip it to Kalkbrenner, and the one-hand jam is there and rips away the rebound. Alexander, all kinds of footwork, took him to the prom underneath. Hayes.
And Nebraska needs more of that. Nebraska needs this thing to be a fist fight.
To shoot for Alexander. Shireman left open. Man makes him pay from downtown. Nick, his 6th for seconds. Ashworth draws a foul with 0.2 seconds left on the clock. And Fred Hoiberg's got to be careful here. There might have been a technical assessed to Keisei Tominaga on the back end of that call, and now Paul Sells and the officials are going to go to the monitor. 0.2 left, and a 3-point shooter gets fouled for Creighton.
It looked like a foul in real time. Nebraska left it. Bryce Williams leaves his feet. And Ashworth jumps into him. And I'm not sure what the disagreement really is there. And
so Ashworth is going to shoot technical shots.
As they got Tominaga.
He's going to get 5 in a row.
Wow.
Because he was fouled on the 3.
This is a significant swing.
Big swing after Tominaga just drilled a 3 to bring it to within 11. So Keisei Tominaga with the tech. Here's where it happened.
So watch Tominaga underneath there. So he's going to take the ball, throw it off the stanchion, and that's kind of an automatic tee. If you spike the ball, throw the ball. Kelly Pfeiffer was all over it.
Ashworth was just 3 for 3 from the foul line coming into the game. He's getting 5 in a row here. Just a mental error.
Yeah,
for a guy that's typically pretty stoic for this Nebraska team.
He shows emotion when he makes shots.
Right.
You usually don't see emotion from him there, but that's a big sequence to end the half from the Blue Jays.
4-point swing after the technical and the foul on the 3-point shooter. 15,000 plus don't like it here in Lincoln. Their Huskers down big, thanks in large part to big deflected or altered at least.
And Alec had Ashworth on him, and instead of throwing it into him, Tominaga drove it.
Shireman through contact, flexing his muscles. He has 22, 2 shy of a season high. And there's a whistle underneath.
From Baylor, Shireman.
Miller, that's a 3. They were so good from downtown. Ashworth rims it in from way downtown.
3-point difference in this game has been dramatic.
Ashworth with the right hand, no. Kalkbrenner the tap back, and a timeout taken by Fred Hoiberg. A 21-point lead.
Effort and your focus on the defensive end, I think that's kind of unfolded here in this game.
Shireman the kick out. Miller a three. Yes, his second of the half. Together stops if you're Fred Hoiberg's club. Whoa! Hammer time. Trey Alexander. Get up. Creighton's three-point shooting has just taken the air out of Pinnacle Bank Arena in the second half. Kalkbrenner, 5 to shoot. Trout with a reverse jam. I think that's one of the underrated things about this Creighton team. Everyone talks, Nick, about their offense, but this is a top 20 KenPom defense as well.
Well, and last year they were a top 20 defense as well, and it all starts with Kalkbrenner, the two-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year.
Alexander buries it from downtown, a low-go three. Three-point attempt for Tominaga this afternoon. Like you said, he's had to do it from two-point range, and you can't trade twos for threes, and that is exactly what Nebraska has done. That's why they trail by 24. Trout wins it back. Dish to Kalkbrenner, who pays it off. Big to big, and Kalkbrenner goes down hard there. And pops right back up like a gazelle.
Into the paint where he traditionally wants to be.
The quietest Pinnacle Bank Arena has been all year. 5 to shoot for Shireman. Alexander, floater to beat the buzzer. Alexander.
He's also got 5 assists, Trey Alexander does, so he's done a good job.
Picked off by Farabello. Tominaga doing his best.
Tell you what, Farabello has done a good job chasing Tominaga around. They look back.
See the point coming into the game. Nebraska 13-3 in their last 16 games, dating back to what you talked about, that beautiful stretch that they had to close out the Big Ten slate. Frederick King, no. Second chance, yes. It's amazing to hear how quiet this stadium has got. You can actually hear sneakers. We couldn't even hear ourselves talking without the microphones near our mouths at the start of the game. What a shot by Doetzler. Getting some run here.
I mean, Creighton made their shots. Nebraska missed theirs.
Hello. The lob to King. It's kind of like what you talked about earlier with Creighton.
Laps on penetration, and what you leave yourself sometimes vulnerable to is kick out threes, and Creighton was able to find those shots and make them.
And they made them at a high clip. A couple of misses in a row for Shireman in the second half. Lowered it on another dunk for King. Creighton's going to let this run out as much as they can. Take the shot clock violation. Give it back to Nebraska. And this was a dominant performance by Greg McDermott's team. Coming off a win in the Big East Big 12 battle. And the Blue Jays with a 29-point victory against Nebraska, tying for their largest win ever in this rivalry game. Amazing. Got to go all the way back to 1932, the last time the Blue Jays won by this many. A lot of hype around this game. Nebraska had come in 7-0, beating all 7 opponents by 10 or more. But Creighton came in just flame-throwing from downtown, and it was thanks in large part to Baylor Shireman, who had 6 threes in the first half and set a new school record with 19 three-point attempts. Finishes with 24 points. He had 20 in the first half, helping Creighton out to a 15-point halftime lead. Other guys got involved as well, and ultimately 14 made threes in the game for Creighton, just too much for Nebraska to handle. As we'll send it courtside with Nick Baugh and the winning head coach, Greg McDermott.
All right, thanks, Matt. Well, Coach Mack, where do you want to begin? I mean, defensively, you did a lot of good things. You guys made some shots. Baylor Sharman led the way. What jumped out at you that led to this win?
I thought defensively, our effort in making sure we were there in the shooters. We had on Tamanaga a couple times the first half, we had some breakdowns, but I thought we moved our coverage up a little bit. And then there's somebody waiting for him every time he came off the screen, and I thought that knocked him out of rhythm a little bit.
Baylor Shireman, especially in that first half, knocked down 6 threes. How much did his shooting really just set the tone offensively?
Well, I think what it did, they kind of really totally changed their coverages in the second half. Now, he couldn't make them in the second half, but the guys played a lot of minutes this week, and we're leaning on him pretty hard. He needs a couple days off. But, Baylor's a heck of a player, and, Baylor, Trey, Kalk, they've been great. Steven's been a great fit. And I thought our four-man, especially in the second half, Mason and Isaac all did some great stuff for us. And Farabella's been rock solid in his role. This is a good basketball team we beat today.
Obviously, rivalry game, always one that is important, and it's a team that beat you in Omaha last year. A little revenge, I know, on your minds. How good does this one feel?
It feels good because I hate this game because it's I don't know that you enjoy the win as much as it's just a relief because your fans are happy for another year, and they were not happy this last year. So I'm happy for them. We have such great supporters, and you look around the building today, basketball in the state of Nebraska obviously is really important when you look at our fan base and the way that the Huskers supported this team today.
Congrats, Mac.
Thanks, Nick.
Matt.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time. A 29-point victory for the 15th-ranked Creighton Blue Jays. Ties the largest ever margin of victory in this series. And they now lead it 30-27 all time. Blue Jays made threes, hammered dunks. Baylor Sharman tying a season high with 24. It was all Blue Jays all afternoon in front of 15,838 for our entire Fox Sports crew. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. So long from Lincoln.